Hi, this is John Charles. I'm in Seattle. I'm on Queen Anne again. I'm right by the Cairo Tower, right up here. You can see it right there. There are 3 towers on this hill putting out big signals blocking me out. I'm getting through as good as I can. They've turned it down. We have problems at Cairo downtown. Apparently, some people have left and are missing. Same thing with the other stations, but Cairo downtown is one of the biggest. But the big news today on the trust is, and of course I want to point some things out. The bloodline is Brunswick, Lüneburg, Braunschweig, Wolfenbüttel primarily. We're married into Württemberg and also Villiers, which is important because it's linked to the cardinals that are in the trust. This is very serious that Matson Shipping is going into this. I'm receiving death threats from Matson, Mike Matson, the son, and Mark Matson, one of the owners, is very involved. Of course, the investments I've talked about in Boeing from the German coalition, I believe it was Lessner or very similar, on Lake Union here in Seattle at the beginning of Boeing. And also they're on top of our railroad properties, which is Hind, and linked to the Hinds in the hills. Also up here, linking to the port, which paved the way for Matson. And Matson, very unappreciative and disrespecting our family for many years, holding back information and stealing the profits that should be going to us. These threats are serious, and when something happens to me, I expect prosecution from any family members related to the Speckles or Ernest Augustin in Monaco. Princess Carolyn, Prince Albert, and his family. This is very serious. This is linked to my family. It's an allowed blood trust. He has no right to touch anything. These documents are serious. They're legal bound by the Constitution of the United States of America. And I'm not sure if he's linked to Russia or what, but he is acting like somebody from the Cold War. This is an insane situation that I would have to fight for my money. The other 2 culprits are Rick and Raj, who used to run a music studio linked to Anna and Nancy Wilson and Cameron Crowe. This is very serious that they're being obstinate and trying to keep money. I was employed by Heart, the band, for over a month, and what they did was use that employment to go ahead and pull money out of our funds. They've used the funds for Teatro Zinzani for years, sitting on our properties by the Seattle Center. The Landmark Trust Office was down there. I've tried over and over to get their assistance in taking care of those properties, and I've seen nothing but, and they are handling the accounts, nothing but irresponsible behavior and trying to shun off the family. The old Frederick's Cadillac property that was up there was ours, and why that would go to Worthington or the Cadillac in Renton, I have no idea. That Cadillac account is our account. Same thing with Chuck Johnson Chevrolet. Chuck Lee Johnson, Bill Johnson. What we're dealing with right now is Biff Johnson, who went to the University of Washington, who is in the accounting at UW. Using a child who is linked to Snapchat out in Kent. They've taken my credit card information, and they thought it must have been stolen by one of Rick Charles's kids and passed over to the other Biff Johnson. He transferred it to Biff Johnson at the UW, and they're trying to use the computers that were stolen and my personal mail information from my father's residence that was in Renton. I'm now downtown trying to change my mail legally, but the phone's hacked so hard I can't put a credit card through to make a really official mail change without being hacked and those card numbers being stolen. We already know that Senator Jackson's son, Mike Jackson, has links to Union Bank, and he's already tethering through our accounts out of Union Bank. And this is very serious. Senator Jackson had links to our Westinghouse and GE through the other senator at the time who was linked to the Atomic Energy Commission. This is very serious that they have breached these accounts. These are Charles' accounts. They're linked to the Brunswick-Lüneburg Trust and the loans taken out of that back in early America. GE, RCA Victor, Jeff Bezos assisting Victorola Coffee with the RCA and Victorola stocks. Housing him underneath his downtown Seattle office where the Bon Marché used to be. Bon Marché, very guilty. Lori Hansberry being an employee of going into the securities office with her friend and entering the Macy's accounts and trying to take the profits. As I said before, we've known since we were children we were supposed to be at the parade. We've obviously been infiltrated when we were youth, my brother and I, and the government is very much involved in probably replacing people in the family at various times of our very, very young youth. The stories that we're hearing of McCaw taking over the accounts and supposedly being somebody to help train us with our satellites and things like that are very true. McCaw is very illegal, so is Stanton, and so are the Allens and Bezos trying to take over the Lake Union properties. This is John Charles in Seattle. I need assistance. I'm appealing to the Royals of Monaco to try to talk to me for one day. This money would be very, very well suited to be aired towards